Happy Azurite Sea release week, everybody. I am as excited as ever. It's Hazed from Freedom Gaming here to just go through my favorite two color combinations here, which is Sapphire Amethyst or Blurple Haze, as I love to call it. I have been brewing and figuring some stuff out, just getting super excited about this set that's coming out on Friday. So figured why not hop in here, talk a little bit about what my favorite cards are from this set and for this deck specifically, and to really speak to it and go through a little deck tech, if you will, with our set six Blurple. Obviously, it's going to change a lot as the set comes out, the meta shapes up, and everything like that. But I wanted to, if you have a big tournament this weekend, maybe you're on Pixelborn grinding or any of those other sites that you want to, hey, I want to take something exciting and fun. This is a great deck for you. So just to kind of jump right into it here, we are playing Blurple, so a lot of these cards are going to look a little familiar to you, especially if you've seen some of my videos in the past. But I did want to kind of go through some of the stuff that has come from set 6 or Azurite Seed that I think is really, really going to help this deck accelerate. Um, we shifted a little bit here as you start to go through. You'll see there's more one drops than I typically play, especially on the Broom side. I think I've been 3 to 4 Chernobog followers as almost every time I played the deck, but Brooms have kind of been in and out. However, the main reason we're playing Broom now is because of Azurite Sea. Saily Azurite Sea. This 2-cost action card is really turned Blurple into, I think, a lot more consistently a good deck. So obviously on turn 2, we wanted to play Tipo before set 6. Now that we have this option as well, you could play this on turn 2, play an ink another card, and play a 1-drop. So if you think of Tipo doesn't get to use that ink once you play him. This, you get to use the ink right away. So to do this on 2, draw a card, and play a 1-drop is very, very good for Blurple because, again, we don't have any ways to wipe the board. So getting characters down is exactly what we want so that we can use those Mims and Merlins to trade and things like that. So again, Saily Azurite Sea is why you're seeing a little more of the 1-drops here. Also, because of Saily Azurite Sea, you're going to notice that the inkable count is very low on this, because in order for you to use an extra card with Saily Azurite Sea, it has to be inkable. It can't be an uninkable card. You have to show it, just like Bell, the 4-cost Bell from set 1. So yeah, Mim package, obviously we're used to seeing that in this color combination, so nothing crazy there. 4 Tipos. We are on 4 Saily Azurite Sea. 3 crabs, because again, we're playing these bodies. We need to be able to trade some stuff in, trade up for some of these smaller bodies that we're playing. So yeah, 3 crabs is very good. I mean, I see the argument for going to 4 as well, but I'm at 3 right now. This is where it starts to get a little crazy. As we start getting further into the deck, you're like, well, hold on a second. There's some stuff here that I'm not too familiar with. Peter Pan Shadowfinder. Towards the end of set 5, I was playing Peter Pan Shadowfinder really to fight off Diablos. It still is doing the same thing, but you have more options now. So this leads me to talk about Genie. Genie, awesome card. Super, super good card. If not the best card in the set, very, very close to it. This is an evasive 2/4, 4-cost and inkable, so think Rabbit. We are consistently going from 2 to 4 ink, very, very common in this deck. So your ideal curve would be turn 1, you play your Chernobog or Broom. Turn 2, depending on the board, you either pop said 1-drop, draw, and then ink with Tipo, or play Azurite Sea and hopefully play another 1-drop. But then on turn 4, you're going to play your Genie. So, or, depending on your matchup, there's other good cards you could play on 4 as well. But we are going from 2 to 4 very, very often. So Genie is a 2/4. The 4 is very relevant because we have things like Crab. We have things like Peter Pan Shadowfinder that are going to give it Rush, because this gives all of your evasive characters Rush, which is very, very good with Genie. If we don't see the ramp, which we're mulliganing pretty hard for the ramp, but there's times you still don't see it, going 3 Shadowfinder and then 4 Genie still lets you swing both into Diablo. I know that's not what we really, really want to do, but if it's in the cove and we got to kill it, that's an option. Also, crabbing Genie with five attack is with 4 health. It can trade into a lot of characters. So goats, you're gonna see 4 cost goat. Um, I'm on 3. I know it's probably everybody's like, what is he doing? He's crazy. Why is he not playing rabbit? Why is he only playing 3 goats? It works. Trust me. There's other ways for us to get a little bit of that extra reach at the end of the game. You still need goats. I'm not gonna cut them. I don't think I was on 2 for a little bit, but it felt too bad. 3 is I think okay. I may go back to 4 eventually. Who knows? I'm also on Yzma right now. Yzma's a 4 cost. Um, if you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. So if we're in a matchup where we're TPOing, sometimes that can put us a little low on cards. This can help that. So we can still ink aggressively and then refill those cards. There's another reason we play Yzma as well in this deck, as you'll see as we get a little further down. I just want to talk about all the new cards to the deck before we get to the big reveal at the end. Wasabi. This is another new card. Very good. Remember I mentioned 4 drops. We're playing Blurple. We go from 2 to 4 very often. What can you do with that 4 ink that's really, really impactful? This is another good option. So you can either play this card and banish an item, which is a good effect if you're playing against a blue deck that has done their start. They've kind of mimicked your start. They have their item out. They've ramped on 2. They're getting ready to play Flaversham, and you kind of smell it out. Popping that item so they can't play Flaversham on curve is actually very, very relevant. Even given the 1 lore, you don't care. That's fine. The other thing he has is he can be evasive on our turn. So with something like Peter Pan's Shadowfinder, this has rush. That Wasabi has rush. So you're against the Diablo and he's scared to quest because he doesn't want to trade into Shadowfinder. Shadowfinder's sitting there and says, all right, I'm going to put my Diablo in Cove. Do something about it. Now you play Wasabi the following turn, and Wasabi is a 3/3, so he's actually able to trade into that Diablo and take it out. Which again, Diablo is our nemesis in this deck. We draw a lot of cards. We don't want to see Diablo from our opponents, so this is our ways to deal with that. Because Diablo is such a menace, we're always on 4 Elsa. Elsa is probably one of the best. The 5-drop Elsa is one of the best cards in this color combination. We need it. I don't think I'd ever play less than 4 personally, unless you're trying to build a different kind of archetype within the deck. We're on 3 Donalds, 3 5-drop Donalds right now. And then we get a little more to the spice here, right? Like this Jafar. Oh, wow, that's cool. It actually went right to the enchanted one. That's pretty neat. So this is testing, right? But it's testing kind of good for me at the moment. A couple of interactions you have with Jafar right off the rip. You obviously don't want to just tap it for 7 and let it sit there. I mean, that can happen. It's not the worst in our deck because we ramp so much. Playing a 7-drop card is not that bad. The other thing you can do is if you have a Shadowfinder out, you're actually able to swing this into something, whether it be a location, whether it be another character, like a weak character. That's still a good play too, because then whenever cards, if you draw any cards after you've tapped him, you're gaining that lore right away. So Jafar is another good little tech card I'm trying out. That could potentially change, but it's giving us that extra reach at the end of a game where we're not quite getting to 20. Obviously, Elsa is still the girl. She's still the great. Like, I don't want to change any of the Elsas. I think it's core to the deck. Finders Keepers is something I wasn't wholly sold on. Shout outs to JDRR in the Blurple 20 lore Discord. I've been testing it. It feels really good. Paying 5. Sometimes you think, man, 5-ing to draw 3 cards, and I have friends. Maybe do I really want to do that? But with Jafar, yes, you want to do that. It makes it just that much better. But it is not bad to empty your hand out with something like a Tipo, maybe double Tipo, just ramping those cards to get. Even if you play Celia's or IT, sure, you draw a card, but you're also taking a card from your hand and putting it into the inkwell. So we need to refill, and this is one of our ways of refilling. We have a lot of ways to refill. A lot of these cards replace themselves when they're played. So yeah, this is our deck list. This is where we're at. I will thank you guys if you've made it this far through the video. I know some of you probably clicked the video, went straight to the description, clicking the Dreamborn link, and are looking at the deck list now and never got this far. But for those of you that did, I appreciate you. Just a couple more things I want to go through on the deck, like a couple things that I kind of tried and wasn't super sold on. This one's probably number 1 is Alice. I was excited for this card to set up Mufasa turns. So if you play this on 3, ramp, I mean not on 3, you're probably playing it late game like turn 6 with something else. maybe a crab to swing something in, and then play this so you can set up for your following turn to try to get a big threat out, whether it's an Elsa shift or a Mufasa, and this would protect it. So that was trying that out. It's not quite there for me yet. If the meta slows down a little bit and we can become more of the aggressors within that meta, this could be an option. But at the moment, I'm pretty happy with not having it in the list. Another one that I don't have pulled up, but I do want to pull because I tested it and I don't want you guys to be like, hey, he didn't talk about this card. Tadashi. Tadashi is also pretty solid. It can be in this deck. My problem is I play against a lot of green purple players, and he feels really bad into green purple. Obviously, you have ways of like Tipo to keep him out when you do see those matchups, so you don't have to really worry about playing him as an uninkable. But by shifting into more of the Sail the Azurite Sea and really just consistently getting more inkables, I ended up cutting a lot of my uninkables, and he was one of the ones to go. Hades was also something I tried with that Alice I mentioned. It worked sometimes, but the problem with Blurple is you are always battling for board. So a lot of the time you're trading. You're not. Sometimes you get favorable trades to where your characters live, but a lot of the time you're not, and they're kind of trading and getting banished as well. So that by the time you drop this Hades, you have like one or two characters out. You're not flooding that board as much. So I didn't really get a whole lot of use with him. I'm still not. It still. I mean, look, we have the set hasn't even come out yet, right? We're on release week. Who knows? This is just my thing to get you guys. Hey, this deck is gonna work. It's gonna take some. It can take some wins for sure, and give it a try. But Hades was a cool card to try. Maybe not exactly for this deck. I'm not sure. Queen's Castle. I mean, not a new card, but this is one that this in library, the location package, I may come back to. As of right now, I'm not on any locations, but it could be right to come back to Castle specifically because of the 2 Lord gain. I could definitely see that. So that is the deck list. Again, it's in the description. If you guys have any comments, have you tried a Blurple deck list that you would like to mention, ask questions about, anything like that, please don't hesitate to put your comment below. Make sure you guys catch our next podcast when we're doing them every week now. So we'd love the support, and we are also doing a 200 subscriber giveaway. So for a Mirabelle, once we hit 200 subscribers on YouTube, we are going to give out a Mirabelle Store Championship promo. So make sure you subscribe, comment below. Hope you guys take this deck and have a good time with it, and we'll see you soon. Take care.